Often overshadowed by its more prominent neighbors, Tlaxcala is waiting to be discovered by those who seek a genuine and immersive experience in Mexican heritage. Tlaxcala boasts a history that predates the arrival of the Spanish conquistadors. Long before the Spanish set foot on Mexican soil, the region was inhabited by the indigenous Tlaxcaltecs. These formidable people successfully resisted Aztec domination, creating a society that was both sophisticated and resilient. The area was ruled by a coalition of 4 dominions called Tepeticpac, Ocotelloco, Tizatlan, and Huiahuiztlan, which united in the 14th century to defend themselves against the Aztecs and other enemies. In the 14th and 15th centuries, Tlaxcala was one of the most important areas of Mesoamerica, with commercial ties to the Gulf of Mexico, to the Pacific Ocean, and to Central America. As the Aztec Empire grew, it conquered Tlaxcala's neighbors but left the dominion in order to perform annual ritual combat called the Flower Wars, which aimed to not conquer but capture soldiers for sacrifice. The conquest of the surrounding area also cut off Tlaxcala's commerce. This remained the case until the arrival of the Spanish in the early 16th century. The Spanish conquistador Hernán Cortés took advantage of this situation, enlisting the Tlaxcalans as allies against the Aztecs, giving them a base to attack from and regroup after La Noche Triste, when they were initially expelled from Tenochtitlan, or Mexico City. Despite the military alliance of the Tlaxcalans, they did not have a single capital. After the Spanish conquest terminated, the Europeans selected the current site to solidify their hold on the Tlaxcalans, as well as have a base for evangelization. The most likely time that the city was founded was the spring of 1522. At the time of the Spanish conquest, the Tlaxcala area was heavily populated, but with epidemics, immigration, and the construction of the Nochistongo Canal to drain the Valley of Mexico, most of the indigenous population disappeared. A document from 1625 states that there were 300,000 in the city in the 16th century, but only 700 remained by that time it was written. The city became the center of Tlaxcala identity during the colonial period. When New Spain was divided into 5 major provinces, Tlaxcala became the capital of one of them. Tlaxcala was promised certain rights as an ally during the conquest. When a number of these conditions were not met, a codex was produced here called the Lienzo de Tlaxcala as a complaint to the Spanish crown. However, despite the complaints, most of the indigenous eventually lost their lands around the city and lost many of their commerce rights in it. In 1692, a revolt occurred against the governor Manuel de Bustamante due to the scarcity of the grain. The city of Tlaxcala became a municipality in 1813, under the Spanish Constitution of 1812. French forces were forced out of the city in 1867, after which Tlaxcalan forces went with Porfirio Diaz to liberate Puebla, and then after that, Querétaro and Mexico City. The colonial era left an indelible mark on Tlaxcala, evident in its colonial architecture, cobbled streets, and historical landmarks. The city's main square, Plaza de la Constitución, is surrounded by majestic colonial buildings. including the Palacio del Gobierno, which is home to the state government, Tlaxcala being the capital city of the state of Tlaxcala, the smallest state in the country of Mexico. Another important landmark is the Cathedral de Nuestra Señora de la Asunción. These structures narrate tales of a bygone era, inviting visitors to step back in time and witness the fusion of Spanish and indigenous influences. During the end of the 19th century, the politics of the city were dominated by Prospero Cajuansi, who promoted public works such as kiosks, streets, public markets, bridges, and government buildings. The city changed from oil lamps to electric light in the historic center. The state government palace was remodeled and the Chicotental Theater was built. Electricity for the city was generated through a hydroelectric works in a canal on the Los Negros River. After the Mexican Revolution, the city recovered and began to grow again, reaching a population of 6,000 by 1927. In the mid-20th century, public education was enhanced at the middle and high school levels. More public works were undertaken to give the city the appearance that it has today. The total population of the city of Tlaxcala is about 100,000 inhabitants, making it the most populated municipality of the state, which has a population of 1.4 million inhabitants. Tlaxcala, Mexico, invites travelers on a journey through time, where ancient history merges seamlessly with contemporary life. From its indigenous roots and colonial legacy to its vibrant traditions and modern allure, Tlaxcala stands as a statement to the resilience and richness of Mesoamerican culture. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I have many more videos of this part of Mexico in the playlist that is linked in the description below this video. You'll also find a link to another playlist of when I bicycled through Mexico. That was part of a larger trip, bicycling through Latin America. I've also bicycled through Eastern Africa and Central and Eastern Europe, and I have playlists for all those countries that I've bicycled through available on this very same YouTube channel, Hum of the Earth. And if you'd like to follow my continuing adventures through Mexico and beyond, you can do so by clicking on the red subscribe button and clicking on the bell to be notified when new videos come out. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one.